And see, it's that shit. It's that shit that we're stopping. 2025, I'm not tolerating that kind of behavior. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm sick, that's why I sound like this, but I'm done feeling like I have to please every single type of person. I'm, like she was saying, I'm messy is a problem. I'm clean is a problem. I'm perfect until I open my mouth. And like that saying, like that part of the lyric there is like the most accurate lyric because I'm so perfect until I show you that I'm not. I'm perfect and I'm great until I speak my truth, until I stand up for myself. That's when it's a problem. Then I'm not perfect no more, right? Then I'm not the great friend or I'm not the perfect, like that shit we're tossing out the door. Like I'm done feeling sorry for all that. Like, 2024 was my year of healing. It was my year of figuring out who I am. And this year is my year of success. This is my year to show all of you how much I don't care. Like I genuinely don't care. And so many people are gonna have a problem with this. So many people are gonna feel so bothered by it because people got so used to that broken down version of me. People got so used to the traumatized version of me that had no idea who I was. But deep down, I always knew. I always knew who I was. Even in my weakest points, I still defended myself. That's such a threat. Like even in my weakest points, I still stood up for myself. I still spoke my mind, and like people hate that. They want to take that spark. They want to take that passion. They want to take that fight for justice. They want it. They want to take it, and they want to break you down to your nothing. And to all the people who are like me, to the people who are like naturally more aggressive and naturally more loud, you're not a monster. They like to make you feel like that though. They like to make you feel like you're a monster, that you're this horrible cold person, but you're not. You're not cold. You're not a monster. You're not these horrible things that they make you feel like that you are. You know, people people are shitty. They just so much unhealed people, and I feel for them. And I'm sure people who are like me, you're probably like me too, like that. Like you have this heart of gold, and you're such an empathetic person. But like, there's so many people who just like they take advantage of that. They know that you're just gonna be there all the time, and it's not worth it. It's not worth your sanity. I was a big person on I don't care like how many people hate the fact that I'm friends with a certain person that everyone hates. But having that stubbornness, it's not a weakness. Trust me, it is a strength to be able to be so resilient. But stubborn and resilience they're different. And you gotta know the difference because I was stubborn. I was stubborn, and I thought by sticking around this crowd of people or person um, was so loyal of me to stick it out, even though it ruined my reputation. And that's what they want. They want your reputation completely gone, and they don't care. They're selfish. They just want and want and want, and they want to suck off of you like a fucking vampire. And you know I want you to know that just because you leave, just because you choose to let go, it doesn't make you a horrible person. You're gonna feel like that, but this is the programming that we've all been fed our whole lives, that we have to stick it out no matter the abuse, no matter what they put you through. If you love them and there's potential, you're supposed to stay. No, you're not. You're not. And like that is something I had to learn the hard way, because by staying, I put myself in so many terrible and dangerous situations, and that's what I cut. Like that's what I left behind. And I urge anyone who is like me, who's very fierce, very in your face, aggressive, protecting, very just you're that protective, the protector friend. Like you're the protector friend in your friends' lives, and the one that's so passionate, and everyone wishes they were like that with that. Like there's a lot of people who will say to you, I wish I had that fight. I wish I could just keep, blah, 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 whatever, so on and so forth, right? But that may make you feel good to hear, but it's more like them saying, I'm so happy you're like that because I'm gonna keep fucking you over because I know you're gonna stay. And I know no matter what I do to you, you're just gonna be my walking bodyguard. You're just gonna keep protecting me and taking all the hits spiritually, emotionally, mentally. And before you know it, I'm gonna have all of your light, all of your dark, all of your strength, all of your weakness, everything. I'm gonna have everything of you, and you're gonna be a walking shell. And that's what they want. That's what they want. They want you to be this hollow shell that just keeps giving and giving and giving. But like that little book that we read when we were all kids, us millennials, the giving tree one, where he just kept going back and back and back for that money, and eventually the tree was done, right? And it's just such a valuable lesson that you can't just keep taking and taking and taking, expecting to get something in return, and I really feel like we should all be applying this to our lives. Like, if what we're giving we're not receiving, then we shouldn't stay. I'm not talking about the situations where someone's feeling at 50% and you're at 100. No, I'm talking about people who are takers, people who are selfish and they don't care about what they're doing to you. Just, it's just a more so a means for them to get what they need out of you. No, I'm talking about those people. I'm not talking about the people who have a bad day and they need your help, or they accidentally take it out on you. No, that's wrong, but that doesn't make them a bad person. Now, if that pattern continues, that's when you gotta start like thinking like, are these the kinds of people that I want in my life? And 2025, this really should be the year where we all look within ourselves and we all start thinking like, where's my life headed? Where am I going? Am I gonna do the things that I always wanted to do? We gotta stop being so immersed in everyone else's lives. Let's be immersed in our own. That I'm not condoning selfishness to in a toxic way. I'm condoning selfishness in a way that if it's protecting you and if it's meant for you, go after it. I'm not saying shit on every single person because you want your life to be better. I'm not saying shit on I don't believe in stomping on the other person to get to where you need to go. I don't believe in that. That's a mentality that is really pretty much been engraved in us, where we have to stomp on the other person behind us to get to where you need to go, and that's not true. You could just lift them up and get them on their feet, and they can keep walking on their own. Doesn't mean you have to walk with them. Does not mean you have to drag yourself with them, but you can give them that hand to get up, and whether they choose to walk at your pace, then that's cool. If they don't, then you keep going, keep it moving. This is my TED talk for today, and I'm sure more will come to mind. But to everyone out there right now who is struggling with not knowing like where you're at, not knowing who you want to be, I would start with like, who's in your circle, what's your environment, because you're never going to find those answers if you're around people who are constantly taking from you. So I urge everyone to do a reset, to just go in your room by yourself, really think about like, what are the pros and cons to every situation you're in? What's the pros and cons to your job? What's the pros and cons to your friends, to your partner? Are you in an abusive relationship? Are you, in a relationship that's not serving you anymore? Are you with friends who aren't serving you anymore? Are you around friends who are uplifting you? Friends that are inspiring you to be everything you always want to be? And once you go through all that work, I would really urge that no matter how hard it is, if you realize those people are just, they're not cutting it, you gotta let them go. We're in a new year now, so like my amazing partner said herself, is what you do today is so important. It sets the tone for what your whole year is going to look like. So what are you going to tolerate? What are you going to allow? That's so important right now, and you really need to think wisely on what you're going to allow for your year.